Head on down to Archibald and Woodrow, some of the best barbecue in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, y'all. Right off of 4125 Greensboro Avenue, Tuscaloosa, Alabama 35405. You can hit them up at 205-331-4858. Also, you can find them at their other location, 1211 Martin Luther King Boulevard, Northport, Alabama 35476, 205-345-6861.
Tastes so good, make you want to slap your mama.
Hello?
Hey, Rick, I had to call you to tell you that the food that you brought to the party last night was wonderful. It made me think about my grandmother's cooking. Where did you get that food, brother?
I went down to Thomas' Rib Shack to pick up the ribs, but when I got there, I seen that they had more than just ribs. I seen baked chicken, fried chicken, corn muffins, vegetables, apple pie, peach pie, and I looked around and I seen a sign that told me that they got chitlins and oxtails on Sunday. Oh, all I can tell you, go down to 2931 15th Street or just give them a call like I did at area code 205-759-5010. Thomas Rib Shack, Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
For over 27 years here in Tuscaloosa, Catfish Heaven has been pleasing our taste buds with their delicious catfish, pan trout, hot wings, coleslaw, hush puppies, and don't forget about those made-to-order French fries. Whether it's your snack time, lunchtime, or dinner time, give the guys a call over at Catfish Heaven at 205-752-7222, or you can make your order online at catfishheaventuscaloosa.com. So head on over to Catfish Heaven at 2502 21st Street. See you there.
Fly, fly, fly. Gucci, huh? I drink till I'm drunk.
Fellas, head on down to New Generation Barber Shop, right off of 2600 McFarland Boulevard East, Suite C. Go ahead and get you a fly cut from my boy Fred Brown. You can hit him up at 205-292-4995. Also Sam Brown at 205-722-8506. And how can I forget about my boy Amp the Barber? Hit him up at 205-561-7473. Check him out, y'all.
Pick, I might as well hell. Drop the top and take a selfie, Marco.
You shopping at a goddamn number 2 pizza.
Tuscaloosa, get ready for the T-Town Labor Day Blues and Groove Festival, Saturday, September 4th at SoCo Park, featuring TK Soul, Abel Hollywood,
Is you 25 and
Magic One, Jay Hammer, Miss Jody, Donnie Ray, and the Jay Morris Group. Gates open at noon. Showtime 2 p.m. It's all hosted by MC Sir Anthony. Bring your tents, coolers, lawn chairs, and RVs. Vendors are welcome. Kick off your Labor Day weekend at the Blues and Groove Festival, starring TK Soul, Lavelle Hollywood, Magic One, Jay Hammer, Miss Jody, Donnie Ray, and the Jay Morris Group. Saturday, September 4th at SoCo Park in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. For tickets and vendor info, call 205-872-2113.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Let me turn my volume down. Okay. Welcome to another episode of the All New T-Town 411 Report. We're live here on Facebook Live. And we're also live on Sound Booth Radio 106.1 with Sound Booth Radio and Sound Booth TV. Mike, tell them how they can join in on Sound Booth Radio.
Sure thing, Daryl. To sign in with us on Sound Booth Radio, go to your iOS or your Google Play Store and download the Live 365 app. Once you've downloaded that app, then go to the search bar and type in Sound Booth Radio 106.1. That'll get you on the radio side. And to get to Sound Booth TV, just go to YouTube and type in Sound Booth Radio and follow the YouTube channel. That'll get you on with Sound Booth TV. Also, you can catch us right here on Facebook Live on Sound Booth TV.
Well, Mike, I want to thank everybody for chiming in, everyone that came out. Go ahead and give the COVID update. Thank you for Veronica Taylor for giving us the COVID-19 update. DCH Health Systems, as of 4:30 today, 157 inpatients within DCH Systems are positive for COVID-19. 38 inpatient positive for COVID-19 being tested and being treated in the ICU. 32 inpatients positive for COVID-19 on ventilators, and 18 positive for COVID-19 on BiPAP. 25% of them are fully vaccinated, and 157 partially are not vaccinated. Of those in the ICU, 5 are vaccinated, 33 are unvaccinated, and partially vaccinated. Mike, we can't talk enough about COVID-19. Just a little quick short prayer for everybody. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for this day. We're asking for your healing of the ones that are sick right now. Go with the bereavement families right now that are dealing with the loss of loved ones. Heavenly Father, thank you for our families. Continue to protect and build a fence around them. We want to send a special prayer out to Lee Williams in the Spiritual QC's family and all the gospel singing families right now. Heavenly Father, go with our government, our governors, our presidents throughout this country. In your Son, Jesus Christ's name, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Got a lot of people chimed in already right now. Mike, just want to go ahead and talk about this concert that's coming up this Saturday. Let people know. Yes, the concert is still on. It is looking forward to being a great outdoor event with a lot of great weather. So a lot of people have been waiting on the weather, so tickets are still available. Let me tell you where the tickets are. I have tickets. They are $40. It's $60 at the gate. You can get tickets at Discount Hair, right across from Discount Beauty Outlet, I think that's what they call it, right across from Crystals on McFarland. You can go to T's Barbecue on 69 South at Mr. Leon Tron's Barbecue Restaurant down on 69 South. And you can go online also and get the tickets also. And you can go on my Facebook page and get the website from that right there. So several ways. And if you want tickets, you can call me. It's looking for a great evening. I want to say hello, Gazelle Royal, Veronica Taylor, Daniel Van Horn, how you doing? Diane Bonner, and let's see who else. Veronica and everybody that's chiming in. She said her favorite Lee Williams song is "Can't Run, You Can't Hide." Yeah, that's a great one right there. We're gonna talk about that right quick. We'll flop back and forth. It don't matter however you want to do it, Mike. Of course, the big rumor or the big question over the weekend was the video that went viral on Friday, or was it Thursday? Friday, wasn't it? Friday. Alabama, the Northridge and Central football game, which was postponed on Friday until Saturday. But based on the video, the young man. I mean, here's my question. I seen some people seeing it as to be degrading. I seen some people said, "Oh, that was just part of the rivalry spirit," and some seen it as being a racist statement. I mean, what way did you see it? I mean, it's several ways you can look at it. Mike, what's your opinion on it, or did you hear about it?
Well, initially when I heard it, I was all in uproar because I was thinking, you know, it was sort of racial, it was disrespectful. But then after I got and talked to a few people, and generally it was somebody in a younger age group. It didn't bother them, and they don't. I guess they don't see where Central is actually the father of half of those. You know, the father of those schools around here. If it was not for Central, then what Central was, they wouldn't split it up and make it into a Northridge and make it into a Bryant High School. So all they ever known was Northridge.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we used to talk, but I don't think we went as far as commenting on people's neighborhoods and teachers and stuff like that. It was all about the actual game in itself. But like once again, we're different than these kids are of the day. So I had to kind of think about that stuff also. Then the first thing that also went through my head was, okay, are they going to do anything to this little white guy who did this? Because if it was a black guy, well, they would throw the book at him. And the way I understand it is they actually kind of threw the book at him. And then now I'm wondering if they were too harsh on him.
What did they say they were going to do?
Well, they suspended him for 2 weeks. He's off the football team. He lost a couple of college scholarships also. He has actually put out there an apology.
Oh, okay.
He actually put out several apologies, actually, for it. Mello, you got that? You got one of them apologies ready to go?
I can pull it back up.
Okay.
Pull it back up. While we're doing that, if you'd like to also put up, Carmelo, put up the number for people can call in. They would like to call in on the program, 205-826-7661 or 310-6067. That'll get you in contact with us on either one of the lines. Preferably call the 60667 number priority first, and then we can go from there. That way I won't want to hesitate. Mike, we're also talking about the late, great Dr. Lee Williams and the spiritual QCs passing away on yesterday.
And I really hadn't heard about that until Mel said something to me late yesterday. Every time we lose somebody now, it's just like we losing another one. We lost another one. We lost another one. We lost another one.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like within the last 2 years, well, in the last year and a half, I should say, it's been so many people that's been leaving this planet. And I'm not gonna say all of them was due to COVID, but a whole lot of them was due to COVID. And it makes you just drop your head a little bit because, you know, it just, well, to me, it makes you remember just how fragile human life can be and how long you actually here on this planet. You know, you can see somebody that was laughing and joking with you the day before and then the next day they're gone.
Let me see, Kowalski, how you doing? Daniel says, as far as the incident last Friday, this clearly shows systematic racism that exists in our school, its systems, and it wasn't trash talk.
Exactly. What he said, he was very, very comfortable with what he said. It wasn't no hesitation. It wasn't no pauses in what he said. it wasn't no trash talk. That ain't trash talk. When you talking about another team, you gonna keep it between you and the team. You ain't gonna bring it to a black-white thing. You gonna keep it strictly between you and the football team as a whole. You ain't gonna bring the community in it. You ain't gonna bring that side of town in it. And initially, the school was only suspending him, keeping him from playing 2 games. They changed all of that because of the uproar to suspend him more, to make it more punishable. Because he didn't even think the fact that you not only got black students also who play on your team, you got black students that go to their school.
From the West End area.
You didn't think about that.
From the West End area.
That's the beginning right there of Southside. That's the beginning. Well, essentially, you see it now. That's the beginning of Southside. You included the entire community, and also you can hear the others cheering. What does that tell you? That's a culture. That's a culture. That's way beyond trash talk. Trash talk ain't got a place in that.
Was it degrading to the community? Did you see it as being degrading to the community?
To me, I did because the community ain't had nothing to do with it. The community shouldn't even been coming out your mouth. But see, that also sheds a light on upbringing. Even though your mama, you even put your mama in because she went to school. And he don't even realize the fact that your mama went to school, got the education she got from the school, you benefiting off it today. That's the most idiotic thing right there. You benefit. That's the reason why you going to that school. Because the education she got from that school and that side of town and that community. You benefited from it.
Just Curtis on the line.
That's what he didn't even look at.
Honestly, I didn't even catch the viral video, to be honest. I've been kind of...
So you didn't hear it or see it, Jesse?
I did not. I didn't see it.
I don't know if Carmelo can bring it up.
I saw it.
Basically,
and you can go to Google, and Google play it, but they'll bleep out the curse words. But you can see the whole thing. Now, if it's on Google, you already know it's across the country, but it ain't viral here in Tuscaloosa. It's all over.
Let me see, can I play it where you can hear it? I got a little bit on. I still have it on my phone.
Okay.
He might can hear it, he might not. That's basically it, Jesse.
It was a little hard to hear, but
yeah, I don't think I can. Let me see. I don't think I can play it any other way that can be heard. Hold on, yeah, I can. Hold on 1 second. Gotta make some changes right quick.
Yeah, but it made Google Sports, and I was like, wow.
Do you get?
It's gone way beyond that Facebook.
Do you get paid for saying? Do you get paid in this situation when you have stuff that's
probably whoever posted it.
Let's see. Let me see. Can you hear from this? Yes.
And now, not only that community serves across the board all ethnicities. So it ain't just black and white folks. Black folks you putting down.
Central, they live in the city of what?
Okay, I get it now. It ain't but about 30 seconds, just so you have to listen close.
Okay.
Central, they live in the shittiest part of town. The shittiest school. The shittiest players. The shittiest teachers. My mom was there.
Did he say they lived on that?
Yes.
SCS part of town?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
Now, when I said that,
I truthfully don't agree with that part at all, because I like you don't bring the community into it. Yeah, that's not trash. But as far as like as far as him thinking that it's trash talking, that's the way that. No, let me ask you something. Do y'all think that nobody at Central was talking trash about people in Northridge? And I'm gonna tell you, that being in a football locker room at Central back in the 90s, and we were talking about Country High. You know what I'm saying? We was calling them all kind of hillbillies and everything over there. So,
but guess what?
They didn't go as extreme as he did, but trash talking is trash talking, and some of the stuff that we said we probably could have got in trouble for it too. We just didn't go viral. Yeah.
So, do you see?
He should have known he was gonna go viral.
Some people see it as trash talking.
How do you know? How do you know when you're gonna go viral?
But Mike, when you got one or two kids,
one at a time, can't hear
what you doing, and it's to that degree, and they posting it all over their Facebook page. You going viral. The one thing Mike said was they did it in the locker room. That's the whole point. That's what I whole point. But it's the team in the locker room. In the locker room. Now this wouldn't seem like it was in the locker room. No, there was no one in the locker room. Outside the locker room. It's like any team. If anybody played on the team, the coach normally would say, "Keep our personal stuff in the locker room." Yes. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know who this guy was. Was he a fan or was he a player? No, he on the team. On the team. So if he didn't keep it in the locker room, then that's a personal dig. You know, especially he went, come a shitty side of town. Excuse my French, I'm sorry.
But that's how I said it. Yeah, that's how I said it. Keep it real.
That's a personal dig. That's not trash talking. Trash talking is when you go after the players and their abilities or lack thereof, or exaggeration of lack thereof. That's trash talking, one-on-one. So whatever he got, he should have got it then. And that was racially motivated as well. I'm glad he did lose some college people looking at him and possible scholarship because the price you got to pay. This is the thing, the media has made it where certain things we say and do, we get held accountable for, where you couldn't say and do 25 years ago, and people got to realize that, you open your mouth wrong, the social media is going to put you out there. Then you got future bosses, future organizations that's going to get it, and then they're going to view you and they're going to evaluate you on that. So
y'all saying that y'all think that harsh punishments should go to young people this is, once again, we keep in mind this is a teenager.
It's across the board.
You trying to tell me that you did everything right as a teenager?
No. Get this. No, but I didn't.
No. Answer that question. Answer that question. Answer that question. No. Answer that question. Did you do everything right when you was a teenager?
He gonna get
I ain't got nothing left to hear from you if you can't answer that question.
So what now?
Have you done everything you were supposed to? Said everything you were supposed to when you were a teenager?
When it comes to that content, yeah.
No, you did that. You done told us so many times that you done got stopped by police officers.
Hold up. When you talking about football, that's what we talking about.
I'm talking about a teenager who has made mistakes, and you trying to go ahead and write all of those.
I ain't never made no mistake. You just, I'm not gonna say that. I ain't saying I ain't never made no mistake.
All right, let me say this, Mike. Let me interject right quick. We've all made some mistakes, but let me say this: when you perpetuate yourself in like that, and that's a belittling characteristic. Hold on, that's a belittling characteristic. If it goes unchecked, it only gets worse, Mike. You know what I'm saying? Now,
at no point did I say he should be unchecked. What I said was throwing a book at a young person because y'all act like he's an adult and supposed to know all this stuff better. That's the thing that's getting to me right now because I know that I did plenty of things when I was a teenager that if I had got caught for, hey, you know what I'm saying? Y'all want to throw the book at this young man right now and just write him all the way off. And y'all don't care that this man apologized. You don't care what. Hey, I really truly thought I was just a trash talker, but y'all gonna call him straight out of that ain't what you meant. That ain't what you meant. You don't know what that man meant. Let's
I'm responding. I never said I ain't know what that meant. I'm responding.
Let's just sit back and say because the way that y'all coming is like everything that happened to him should have happened to him and then some. That was actually said on this phone
like
a few minutes ago.
Just like the LC. If it had been a young black man that said the same thing the same way, they'd have thrown the book at him. And you know.
Darryl is saying
he would have been on now college list
no. This is true. Nowhere. This is true. I mean,
his NFL.
You know what? And then there actually has been a conversation on Facebook about that, and some folks are actually saying they probably wouldn't have did as much to a black person because of that. They would have.
Well, no. If he had said them same things about hold on, in a white school, a predominantly white school, and he being a black young man playing at a predominantly white school, no. He wouldn't be talking about it.
Let me say
he
this,
would
Mike.
not be playing, and we'd be mad.
Let me say this, Mike.
He is not playing.
A lot of our kids, our kids have gotten penalized for way less, the worst way over the years. You know, so it's about time that some white kids start feeling that heat too. You know, because a lot of parents have kids that have suffered a lot of repercussions from mistakes that their kids have. When we could have said like, well, dog, it didn't have to be that bad. You know, you could have been a little less lenient on them, you know, or something. Okay, so now it's this kid, a white kid, he's feeling some of that heat that a lot of our kids have been feeling for decades. So I'm not really going to really sympathize with what he's getting. He's just getting something that we've always got, you know, and that's what I'm saying.
But how you're saying all what you're saying, Jesse, is because he's a white kid.
No.
What? No, this is how it's coming off because he's a white kid and he got the heat. Instead of saying, "Hey, neither one of them should have had to go through as much as that, but they should have been disciplined." You saying because he white ain't because we didn't did it for so many years. It's about time that little white kid got it.
Okay.
Do you think that's right?
You want to know something? I'm not gonna say two wrongs make a right, but guess what? This is life. Life isn't fair. So guess what? It is what it is. He's feeling what we've been feeling for decades, for hundreds of years. Okay? He's feeling what our kids always feel. So now his parents know how some of our parents feel. If they feel that's too harsh, you know. So I'm gonna leave that one at that, you know. But I understand your point, Mike. I truly do. But all I'm saying is that okay, now they see what we've been coming from, you know. But you can't go back and change what channels you took against our kids, you know. But now, if you remember some of the arguments that we brought to the forefront back then, now you can understand why we felt the way we felt. This is to the parents of that boy. You know, that's what I'm saying to the parents of that boy.
How do you know what his parents did to him though?
No. All I'm saying is now his parents know how some of our kids' parents felt when they got harsh treatments when it shouldn't have been that harsh in the past. That's what I'm saying. So it's that's all I'm saying. I understand what you're saying.
So
they could have been a little bit lenient.
Since this is a young white person at any given time, because it ain't no thing saying that he can't go to another school and play somewhere else.
This is
so how's that really going to hurt anything? He can't say that he can't go to ACA and play.
Well, that's possible. And same thing. But just guess what? It's like our kid, one of ours back then, couldn't have went to a big time school if they found that out and say, well, we're not going to accept you now because of that behavior on your record. Same with him, now he just have to go to a supplemental school, his second or third choice, what he can get into, or have to prove and work himself back into the good graces of E1s. I don't know. But all I'm saying is that, our kids, our parents back then with our kids would have gotten in some trouble. They would have threw the book at our kids. So guess what? They feeling how our parents felt when the book got thrown at them kids, at their kids back then. That's all I'm saying. Some things come around, don't come full circle. It goes 180 on you. And so now you looking at a mirror, you're looking across the board at, I'm getting the same treatment now that they got. So now I know how they felt. It ain't right. Either way, maybe it should have been a lot lenient. It could have been a little lenient on them. But guess what? The circumstances is, now y'all getting the book thrown at because social media puts you out there and paints a picture of yours in a manner that society is not accepting. And now it ain't my word against your word. It's social media against your word. And you know who's going to lose there.
We got Veronica on the phone. Veronica, talk to us. What's your opinion?
Hey, let me ask my question, Mike. I know at first you said that you thought that it was racist or degrading.
Yeah.
Okay. And you were kind of up and on. Hold on. Okay, you were kind of a little heated by it. Okay, you work with a lot of young African American people. So did you talk to them, and did they play a factor in changing your mind?
Indeed, yes.
Okay, I got right there. Our community always wants to be the forgivers, the forgiving community, and I have no problem with forgiving. But you make these people hold the same accountability that we hold. You make them hold because see, you work with a lot of young African American youth, and the grip that they are putting on our young people, it's okay for those other people to say the N-word. It's okay for this. It's okay for that. And when I say the N-word from another race, from any race, to me, it's wrong. But our young people are becoming so desensitized to the things that are brutally done to us, that will affect us in a negative way. And I thought, because I know that you work with young people, you probably talk to a lot of young African American people. A lot of them think they woke. But what a lot of them don't know is the world been the world, always been the world.
That's right.
And we always get the wrong side of it. And a lot of them think that they're on an equal level playing field out here. And they are not. And see, when you talk to them, I see now you're very passionate against so far going against the young man. What our young people need to know is that forgiveness is always great. Because our community is the most forgiving community that there is. But don't be gullible. Because that when he said my mom was there, I don't know if it was my mom worked there, my mom was there, as in went there. It didn't sound like went. It sounded like was there. No, I don't know if he meant that. It didn't sound like that to me. But whatever it is, she has an affiliation. She went there. She was there. Was could mean went. Was could mean work. Or she worked there. But our young people are walking around here, letting them say the N word, the Niji word, like it's nothing. And now young people affected your decision because you interact with a lot of young people. So a lot of those young people are saying, oh, it's just trash talk. It's just trash talk. It's just like a lot of stuff Trump said should have been left in the locker room. Well, he a young jock. He out there, he doing this thing. He's trying to be cute, and he said too much. And he is at an age. He's a child, but he's at the age where these Proud Boys and all these other boys are watching. All these other organizations are listening, and they can grip him up and recruit him. Yes. So nobody knows if that's going to happen. Nobody's saying it's going to happen. But we see what this, for the past 4 years, with the racial issues, some of these young people don't even know that there's a racial issue until George Floyd.
That's right.
Do you see the racial issue, the racial implications of what he said? First of all, I'm not saying I don't make mistakes. I remember when we played somebody from Ellisville or Utah, Greensboro, we would say something like that country, they're from the country. But that would be it. And some people would say, well, that's too much. And when I listen to this, I'll take that thing. I'll say that's too much. Or we'll play, oh, they over there kind of how they uppity. So there were things that were said. But when you start talking about all that, like I said, it reminds me of Trump saying nations. And this boy is old enough to work. He's old enough to drive. This is not the age where you really get into them kids at 5 and 6. So he's 16, 17. This boy can be recruited to one of the most racist organizations possible. His mind is wide open to it. Because he said that, and he said it amongst black players as well. He was so comfortable because our youth are allowing them to become comfortable disrespecting us, degrading us. And then what they're saying now is that we're canceling their culture. Some people, like he said, that they wouldn't have been so hard had it been a black guy. Well, okay, like Jesse said, for years and years, and even now, it's not so hard on them due to their race or the color of their skin. So sometimes now let us get a few in that they ain't so hard on you. If it's something like that, and I'm not talking about something where you go out and commit massive crimes, but I'm saying something like that, let him see what we've been going through. Nobody's kicked him out of school. He wasn't expelled. He wasn't kicked off the team. Maybe some people felt like he should have been, but he still, what he takes with him is a color, like Puff Daddy said. He P. Diddy, he a billionaire. He go out there and stand and flag that cab down. That cab gonna keep going. Little young white dudes on his rap show crying because he was getting tortured. He go out there and flag that cab down. The cab gonna pass Puffy and stop to him. But he up in Puffy office trying to get a deal. Right. So what I say about that is that you work a lot of youth. Remind those youth. Don't let the youth make you feel like we being too hard. We are the most forgiving people. You sit there and we can get to fight, hate each other. But we see one of each other home. Come on in, baby. Oh, come on, I can't stand her tail, but bring her on here. She home. But we do them like that. They don't always do us like that.
That's right.
Not that none of them will, but they don't. And when that boy said that, he let all these people, it's viral now, all these folks know there's seeds are being planted. Do you know the Proud Boys are starting organizations against masks, trying to start stuff against people wearing masks? That young man is a young man. He may be a teenager. I don't know if he's 15, 16, or 17. But the seed is planted at 5 and 6. So if he came from a great family that loved black folks having the house every day, taught them to be his sisters and brothers, when the right peer group get a hold of him, especially him being out there saying that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of these skinheads and stuff right here. Their families ain't nothing like what they do. So I'm not talking, no, I'm still mad. It's racist and it was degrading. And 2 game suspension. How about making them play soccer or something? Don't take them off the football team. But if they don't do that, I'm good with the suspension. But see, some of these young black people are desensitized to the things that happen to our people. And they probably, some of the ones, just like some of them knew it wasn't right. That's why they did. But you got some of them like high-fiving and homeboying and letting him walk up to them. What's up, man? What's up, man? Nah, bro, nah. And that right there, when he got there up on that pedestal, like he had a big voice. Might be, I don't know who he is, but he had a big voice on that football team. So he got a big voice in his school. Everybody that feeds into his school, over there, the elementary school, the middle school, they listening to him. And they thinking that's cute. So our young black people need to start recognizing when you getting poop thrown in your face. And it's not kiki ha ha. It's not funny at all. And then I guess we all have made mistakes. And when they make mistakes, whoever don't like it, they never have to deal with it the way we do. When you're talking about stuff like sports and all this kind of stuff. Sports, celebrities, whether it's city, local, state, national, whatever. We usually have to do more repentance, society-wise, than they do.
That's right.
And so when he got there and said that, what I would suggest anybody, anybody's dealing with young black people, stop becoming desensitized to what they're saying, because they're slowly eating away at the council. They're saying we're canceling their culture. See, the more they say that, the more racist stuff they're going to get by saying. Over there in Texas, they're trying to take the word racist and racism out of the Constitution. So anything they do, what you going to call it? Even though we know what it is, we still call it that. That is just what they're playing on our minds. That boy wasn't no baby. He wasn't 5 or 6 listening to his folks. He's 15, 16 years old. You got some 15, 16-year-olds who have racist parents, and they won't allow them to be racist to their black friends. They won't allow it. So he's old enough to have made a better decision. I do think that he think he's a jock, young jock in the school. He went a little overboard. But when he said his mom was there, whether it's worked there, went there, whatever, he felt like something has been said. And I ain't gonna say his mama did because I don't know his mom, but something has been said that makes him feel comfortable enough. Because I would think my child wouldn't feel comfortable enough to say it. But something she has said, her husband has said, somebody in that family has made him feel comfortable enough to say that. And then the kid, like I said, I can't put words on him now. He could have just been showing out. But what other people see when it went viral is that there's one.
That's right.
We need him. We can get him. Look at him. Look at his appearance. Cute, little blonde hair, blue eye. There is one. Do you think if one of those boys that you work with, Mike, if they went to a job right out of college and was more qualified, and this little kids, now I know family helps family, whatever, but I'm saying it's 2 strangers. You train one of these boys, you know they're good people, you know they're good workers. This young man gets the position and he's hiring people. Okay? Do you think he's not going to hire his when he hires going to be blindly? You're going to have to be bringing some mega dollars to his pocket for him to hire a black guy over somebody that looks like him. And I say that because I see the seed that has been planted in him. We are more mature. We need to be teaching our younger kids. Don't allow these kids to teach us. There are some things they can teach us and some things they can open our eyes to, but we need to open our eyes to when we are being degraded, we are being downplayed, and there is racism being involved. And whether it came from his peers or his family, that's what he feels. Ask him if he wants to live on that side of town that he called Essie. I wouldn't mind living anywhere, wherever people that go to Northridge, I wouldn't mind living there. I wouldn't mind living on the west side. And I want to admit, there are some parts of the west side I don't want to live on. But ask him in general. There's certain questions you can ask him. That's what his black peers need to do. We need to start teaching our youth how to weed these people out.
That's right. You're so right.
Because see, I figured that some young black people probably had influenced your decision. Now you a man, I'm sure you changed your mind, but I'm sure that they influenced your decision because I know you advocate a lot for a lot of young people.
I heard their side. So I don't please stop saying that somebody influenced my decisions on.
But Mike, when I asked you, you said that. When I asked you, you said that. It's just like when you called Jesse on something. When I asked you, I said, did you change your mind after you talked to younger African American people? And you said that, and we can play it back. You can go back and listen to it. You said that.
I know exactly what I said. And the question
okay, but you said that, so I'm not putting words in your mouth.
People, and I talked to young people, and I said, yeah, and they made me see a whole nother way of it. That is
exactly. But what I'm telling you is that that's fine, and young people can do that for us. But as the elders, as adults, we're not 90, 60 years old. We still know what's going on in this world a lot better than they do. We have to also remind them to have an open heart, but we are the most forgiving. So start standing up for yourself and not giving everything a pass.
Amen.
So me saying simply that this young man right here shouldn't be written completely off over one mistake because he was recorded saying this stuff that he probably didn't know he was being recorded. Or
he knew it.
I honestly don't think that he would have said anything about his mother.
He knew it. The phones were out, right? And we see you going way. You going into the whole thing of what you said. The only thing I'm talking about is what I asked you. No. I didn't make a speculation. Everybody, did I not ask Mike? Had he talked to other younger people because he worked with people? I asked you that question.
Back to another thing. I'm still saying that we should not write this young man.
I never said nothing about writing him off. I never addressed that part yet. I said there's some things. I said there's no. But when I came into the conversation, I asked you because of what I've been listening to. I've been listening to everybody. But what you said struck me because what I see is what y'all young people are becoming desensitized. So that's why I asked you. I didn't ask you who all you talk to. I asked you, I know you work with a lot of young people. Did you talk to any of those people? I'm taking my clue off of that and nothing else. Nothing about is it too much for this or that. I just took my cue off of that. And my cue from that is that our people are allowing ourselves to be degraded and humiliated when there should be something that's taught against that. We should be taught not to allow that. Our young people shouldn't allow that. I asked you that because you said you changed your mind after talking to them. That's what I asked you. You said that. So all that other stuff, I didn't have anything. It didn't have anything to do with all the other stuff about it. The punishment was too much.
Black and white. Oh, I talked to some young folks, so I changed my mind because I talked to young folks.
No, I didn't say everything was black and white. Mike, you got to learn. You got to learn not to just when you hear something that you don't want to hear.
A whole other thing. They opened my eyes and made me remember when it was.
Okay, but I asked you. I specifically asked you. What you're doing is you going through. If you going through, I don't know your whole experience. That's why I asked you about one thing.
But you keep talking over me.
No, I'm not talking over you. You losing the point. You're losing my point. My point is that you talk to young people. You talk to young African American people.
You tell the point, then.
No, I bet you somebody else out here get Jesse. Do you get my point? Jesse, do you get my point?
You didn't say a word. I get your point. Now, every time I try to say
No. I sat on the phone before I got on the phone. You was talking to everybody. I sat on hold for 7 minutes. I sat on hold for 7 minutes and I sat on hold for 7 minutes and 18 seconds. And I didn't say a word. Then Daryl brought me in. So you get upset and frustrated when people don't agree with you and people don't allow you to put words in their mouth. I can't allow you to put words in my mouth. I asked you for one point of view. Did you talk to young people and did that have something to do with you changing your mind? I didn't say that was everything. That was the whole reason you changed your mind. I asked you what I wanted to ask you.
That's how you making it sound like I changed my mind.
No, how can I make it sound that way? I've told you over and over. I asked you, did you talk to young people? And everybody on this panel knows that my whole conversation has been about we can't allow them to say we're canceling their culture and allow that to desensitize our people. And then now we're starting to listen and falling for that too. They're already saying, what's up, my whatever. Then just to say that this is trash talk and not to wonder. No, something just because I've talked to several people, got several opinions. But my opinion still is what it is. Now, other people could have changed my mind. Other people could have changed my mind. But I'm looking at this from a societal point of view. Other people could have changed my mind, but I'm looking at this from a societal point of view. And I'm looking at this from my people. We need to stop allowing people to infiltrate into us and make us doubt what we're feeling. And I'm saying that when I say you talk to young people, I'm saying, okay, these young people are allowing them to do a lot more things than they should be doing. And it seems like when I asked you that specific question, you said yes. So that's why I played off of.
All right.
Anybody seen? There's a show, the Pat Williams show, the comedian Pat Williams on Netflix. Anyone watched that series?
No, I never watched.
Okay, it's a good series, and one particular series came to mind right after the viral video. She had a series on there where she has a black son and the black daughters, but her black son brought over two white friends to the house, and the father heard the two white kids calling him the N-word. And the daddy told him, you better get them out of my house ASAP, like right now. Mm-hmm. And it was like the young African American son didn't understand the feelings of dad because the son seen it as normal. Mm-hmm. That the white kids can say, as Veronica was saying, "What's up, my N?" or "What's up, my,"
Mm-hmm.
And it's like
that's all I'm saying. It's just we just allowing them. We already desensitized stuff. We already get the raw end of the deal.
We got
to train our kids not to be so accepting of the stuff that's wrong. We'll be back in the 50s.
Accepting of it.
Not to be so accepting of the things that are wrong, no matter how much they are seeing the wrong. They young. They just got here. They still wet behind the ears. They got milk behind the ears. And yeah, they like to say they woke or we ain't living amongst them or whatever. But what I know, one thing that never changes is racism and the way they infiltrate and put it out there. The way they said we're canceling their culture. How are we canceling? So we're canceling your culture. So basically, what's that? Reverse racism. That's reverse affirmative action in their eyes.
Canceling how they treat us.
Right. So we're canceling their culture. We're canceling the way you treat us. But they've gotten into some of our young kids. It's just like that young man that sat there and enjoyed taking credit saying he organized January the 6th. Young African American. Somebody need to talk to that boy, young African American that keeps putting himself out there. They can't be taking him too seriously because he has been arrested. But he keeps continuing to say that he had a part in planning the 6th. That's because a younger generation are allowing them to infiltrate their minds to make them think they have a position that they don't have, or they have a kindred connection that they don't have. And the older ones are sitting back, our age and more, sitting back with a smile on their face. Just like I said, organizations, when that went viral, they sitting back smiling. We might not be able to get it because I said, young man, we don't know. He may have truly thought he was doing nothing wrong. He, like I said, he don't watch these TV shows. He probably get up there trying to be a little jock. That all was cute. But this is a time for learning, not just for him, but for our people. That is degrading, it's desensitizing. We fought against that and don't kiki, ha, and let it ride and say we're doing too much to him.
Repercussions is the lesson to be taught.
Right.
And he needs to suffer some repercussions.
I bet you for that, just for that, he will never, and if I felt like it was too strong, me as a female, as a woman, as a mother, I would say so. But I also know as a black woman that whatever they do to him, it would not compare to probably what they would have done had a young black guy got up there and said something in reverse.
But have been. There's some young black, and I'm just like I said, you go back in the past, and we can reach back there. There's a lot of black boys that have gotten decimated when they've done something slightly bad or made a mistake, and it wrecked their lives. And we knew as a community that the punishment was way too harsh. But there's nothing we've done about that. They made their minds up. So what I'm saying, and like you said, as far as the skinheads, all these people, the oath keepers, yes, they are.
Right. They shaking their head. That's one down here in Alabama. And I'm not saying throw the book at him. Not one time did I even address that or how much punishment. That wasn't my whole thing. I have a lot to say about that. But my whole thing is like we can't allow our young people to keep thinking, oh, that's okay. Or this is a new time, this is a new day. Guess what? We said the same thing to our parents. My mama said the same thing to she was born in 48. She said the same thing to her parents. Her parents said the same thing to my great-grandparents. My great-grandparents would look at us and shake our head. And guess what? They would look at my mama and her generation, my cousin, her, and shake their head. They would look at my grandparents, because my great-great-grandmother lived till I was 15. So I had 5 generations to sit there and see. You will see, oh, just keep living. That's what they will say. And they will see, these young people will see, keep living. These folks ain't for you.
It's up to us.
Before we go too far, I never said that he should not be punished either, actually. But that part right there was not heard, I guess. Because I did say that. But
no, I never said that you said he shouldn't be punished. We said the degree of it. I said I wasn't going to even address that part. I had a lot to say about that. There's a lot of stuff we didn't say, but because we disagreed, I think you feel like we were putting those words in your mouth. My only addressing was of the young people. We can't allow young people to feel that way, and we definitely can't allow them to change our minds.
To be fair, then just because it's been done this way to us for so long, now we can do it back to them now. And that's going it goes right back to that 2 wrongs don't make a right thing. That was my whole entire thing. But of course, every time I try to bring something up, it does seem like y'all try to come.
You're absolutely right, Mike. 2 wrongs don't make a right. But when we sit here as an African American community, I never addressed the part about the punishment. That's why I said I think it should have been a little more. So much I would have thought was too much. Some people think this was too little. Some people think this was too not enough. So it's going to have to be up to the board of the school or whatever to decide. Some going to be happy with it, some not going to be happy with it. But what I'm not going to do is say, yeah, 2 wrongs do make a right. But what I'm not going to do is sit here and say, well, because it happened to us, because then I go back to that same old, we so forgiving. Why we got to say, come on in to everybody, and everybody saying, get on out to us. So, I mean, he'll be all right.
That's right. I'm not going back. I'm not
going back to that. It's always why I'm not. Do you think they're trying to figure out in the criminal justice system? Oh, you know what? We're gonna stop this right now. Chris England just put out a thing about how many people get parole, how many people get probation, and percentages of black people that are incarcerated as opposed to the percentages of white people that are incarcerated. Who's been getting parole? Who's been getting pardons? And how that's racially affected. So this has been going on for too many years for me to sit back on a racist issue and say, well, I mean, I will to a degree if it comes to somebody's freedom, but for me to say, well, I just wanted to be fair. Yes, I do want to be fair. I want to be fair because we've been getting short end.
Let me say this right quick, Ron. It's one thing I know for a fact, and we all can agree to this, I'm sure, is that everything always get changes in law and everything when black folks start taking advantage of a situation, they create a law to prevent it.
Mm-hmm.
White folks have been taking advantage of that same situation for years, for decades. But when black folks learn how to take advantage of it also, they slap rules in there.
And the only thing we've always wanted was what? For it to be fair.
Wanted to be fair. So
for it to be fair.
Yes. My thing is this. If the fact that their kids start getting repercussions for their actions, as our kids are always getting, then guess what? They're going to probably start being more lenient towards everybody's child. Because they're going to be feeling like, well, we got to make sure our kids don't get caught up in that. Because right now, the cameras are on them too. We can't protect them.
That's when the rules change, Jesse.
Right.
That's when
exactly.
the rules. These paper. It's just like when people say, "Why should we pay reparations? We didn't enslave y'all. We're not asking y'all to pay the reparations. We ask for the government to pay them, just like they pay for everybody else, because we want to be what? Fair. But we still get the short end. Everything you can bring up, we get the short end. So when you start talking about fair, I ain't gonna lie. I got a little rolling my eyes, twerking my neck, talking about fair. We never get fair treatment, so I'm not worried about the people that do.
Even when we get it, we still won't be getting it all.
Even when we get it, I bet you we paid a high penny for it.
There's no real catch up.
And it ain't even 50%.
No, and I'm not saying make this young man pay for nothing, just like his folks. His folks can't pay for what his people enslaved us, not constant. I'm not talking about today. As of today, make things fair. We're supposed to be working on making things fair, not working on giving them a little slight pass. A little pass?
Or slap on the hand. As it has been in the past, and like you mentioned, the judicial system, it's been that way from the beginning and still is today. More black incarcerated and black and brown people incarcerated for the same crimes these white people go ahead.
So it's not important. We saying right now we need to go ahead and put old boy in prison and just not let him out. No.
See, nobody said that. Nobody said that. That's right there. You can't do that. You can't put words in people's mouth. We're using examples of why. We're talking about how the seed has been planted.
Don't put words that you trying to do it to me.
Yeah, trying to do the same thing. What I'm trying to say,
right? Because not one of us said that. Period. Nobody said that.
We said that. The punishment was just to me.
We didn't say that.
Can I say something now? Can I say something about everybody jumping down my throat?
So the fact that when you brought the question up, you want us to respond to the question, right?
I ain't asked the question yet. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Every time I get to say something,
all right, everybody,
all three of y'all jump down my throat.
I didn't
jump down. The point that I was trying to make right then was, and since the very beginning of this whole entire debate has been, let's not write that young man off right now.
I never said him about writing him off.
But yes, because y'all not saying anything about, well, about 2 weeks ago, we had a discussion about a lady going up and Piggly Wiggly stealing.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all remember how y'all like, well, she might need some mental help. Y'all ain't
y'all wasn't in that. This why right here, finger raise wasn't in that. Wasn't in there. Because I was wondering, look at the comments. I said crime is a crime. Now what we need to do is approach her and figure out what's going on. And tonight what I said about the young man was what we need to do is use it as a teacher moment. They probably didn't catch it, but I said we need to use it as a teacher moment. Not just for him, these were my words, not just for him, but for our youth as well. Teacher moment for him that it was wrong. Teacher moment for our youth that it was wrong. You can't just let this stuff slide because you're high-fiving and hey.
Anything slide, but when we first got on here,
I didn't say you said it. I mean, that's just my take on it. I'm saying a teaching moment. That's just a part of me saying the overall consensus for me is use it as a teaching moment. I didn't say write them off. I said I may feel like it's too little. Some people may feel like the punishment too much, but the board is going to decide. But what we should do is use this as a teaching moment for them, for the youth in general.
Let me say it like this, because really and truly, I got 3 people on the line that basically saying a bunch of different things. 2 of these folks on the line, and I ain't gonna say which 2, but I'm gonna say 2 of these folks kind of made it seem like everything he gets, he should get because it used to happen to us. And I said, no, we shouldn't write somebody off. This is the same thing I've been saying the whole entire thing. We shouldn't write this young man off, because we don't know where his mind completely was at.
Okay, let me.
Everybody was and 2 people on this phone were, it was racist, and he was racist, and all this, and I was like, you don't know that. First of all, I'm looking at the fact that it's black people on the team. It's black people that was in there with him when he was doing this talking. So it wasn't like he was just in a room full of white people and he was talking this stuff.
And let me catch you. Okay, I get what you're saying. But all 3 of us, we have that in common. You're the only one that doesn't. Now, what I can address for what you just said is that he wasn't like in a room. We're never gonna hear what they're saying in the room. It's just like a damn said example. Man, you know that white folks said, and it's 3 black folks whispering. What we whispering for? Okay. Well, he was out there amongst black people because that's why I said our youth are becoming desensitized. Because when he started that talk, some of them boys live over there. Some of them boys got friends over there. When he started that talk, it may have been okay for them because that's what the youth are allowed to happen. And we need to make sure that they don't allow it to happen.
Right. Let me respond also. All right. Okay. Yes, Mike. I was one that said, yes, he should get whatever they're going to deal to him. Because I feel like our kids, and we used to get it all the time. And there was no one in an uproar about it but our parents. And it didn't matter. So, and I understand Veronica saying it should be a teaching moment for both sides. What I get from her saying that is that the teaching moment for both sides, for the white kid side is don't use that. Don't use that way of speaking about other people's community. And for our black kids, don't accept that way of speaking about your community.
Exactly.
That's what I get from what she's saying. Now, I'm not hammering you or anything. We all agree to disagree, because that's one thing I like about the panel that Dow's created here, is that we all can come on to agree to disagree and have a debate. And so I respect everybody's opinion. Now, I know I didn't agree, and like I said, my grandkids don't teach me about culture. I teach them about culture, about our culture. Now, when it comes to the music, the new dances, the new social medias and how to navigate through them, they can teach me that. But they are not going to teach me how I'm supposed to be treated by other cultures. I'm going to teach them how they should be treated by other cultures, not the other way around. That's me now. How you go about it or anybody else go about it, that's fine.
That's exactly all I'm trying to say. I'm not gonna let no youth teach me how we're supposed to respect, because they become desensitized. And I'm not saying a youth taught you anything. It was just an observation that that was one of the reasons that he changed his mind, because he talked to the young people. So on that aspect, I said we need to get rid of our young people, because that shouldn't be changing nobody's mind of our age.
Question.
No, when they do that type of talk, I believe like this: if my grandkids get in arms about, not physically, but they need to be really aware of that person that put that out there and how to deal with them. And it's my job to teach them
how to deal with that.
Got another caller, guys. Let's see what this caller opinion is. Go ahead, caller.
Let me slip in and say this. This is the producer. This DJ Mello.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm a young cat. I go to see how. So I'm right there. So I know a lot what's going on. And in no way am I going to justify what he said. I do feel as if he did take it too far. But at the same token, two rights don't make a wrong. To get some insight in the whole situation, the situation started with Central in general on Wednesday through Instagram Live. One reason why it wasn't blown up because it was on Instagram Live. It's nothing that just generally posted, it just stays up unless you make that decision to save it. But a comment was made to one of the Northridge boys about his deceased mother in the lines of him and the coach was jaking back and forth, and the coach proceeded to say, well, you don't carry your mom on the field this year? And that kind of, that's where the uproar began, knowing his mom was dead, because the last time we played them, his mother was in a wheelchair before the game. He carried her on the field. So that comment was made, and to everybody, it was kind of like, to the Central, like hee ha ha. But to them, they didn't take it well. So all throughout that week, it was feud going on. Even I think that Thursday night, some of the Central boys went and shot up one of their players' house with paintball guns. And then came Friday, that statement was made. So it's kind of like we all together, we get hyped up. It's about to go down. But yet still, in no way am I justifying what was done. But at the same time, his was just put in the public eye. So the media kind of made it look worse for him. But I feel as if some of the stuff the boys to see how I said got to the media, I think it would have went well over. And I know him personally. I know Evan personally. A lot of boys from Central, we know him personally. We know the type of person he is. And I think in a way, we always kind of like, well, man, hey, it was kind of wrong, man. You can't, especially in that type of setting, when you look at it that way. But at the same token, we couldn't just be mad because we knew we was in the wrong too. So,
but you told the guy that made the video, Mello, you guys told him that it was wrong.
Yeah, we know.
Okay, that's what I want. That's what I want to make sure that's happening. That our young people aren't getting too desensitized that we ain't standing up for ourselves, and they're not standing up and letting them know. Because that's what went viral. That's what we saw. We can't account for whatever else that happened. But at the end of the day, it still boils down to a teacher moment. So that would mean you have to be included in order to get that teacher moment across.
Absolutely. I applaud the young man. I applaud you.
Because you brought facts. But what we saw was the facts of the video he posted.
Yeah.
And so what we're addressing is how he handling our people. So because y'all know the backstory of it, if we were to have a teachable moment, you and anybody else that knew that backstory should be able to come there. And guess what? It's just going to add to the teachable moment. It's still not going to excuse it because he was the one that got caught. It's like when you're in school hitting each other. The teacher look around, you usually hitting back. Who she see? You. So it's still supposed to be a teachable moment between the two.
And let me say this. Let me put this in there, young man. The paintball thing, what that Central kids did, the paintball thing, apparently. Now that's like criminal. That's one. What's that?
That's criminal.
Charges.
The charges did that. Now
I'm just saying it should be charges.
Right. That's charges that they get caught because that's vandalism. But what it was something that's how you say it, it wasn't personal, it wasn't tagging the community. It was what, football teams do. Traditionally, they do stuff like that.
Right, we're talking about what we saw.
When you put words out there like that, that's like a conscious attack on a person, on a community's character. So I'm glad that you kids, young cats, addressed it to him and made it clear that's unacceptable. Because Ms. Taylor here is saying that some of our kids, what they do is that they are so desensitized so that they be like, I ain't gonna worry about it. We're just gonna keep it moving. No, address it, make sure it don't happen again.
Right.
Exactly.
Because it's not okay.
What I stated in my statement earlier, I said that very thing. It was black and white kids out there cheering him on in the video. Yeah. So that attains to what.
Yeah, you said it. You said it because you talked about how it would affect them.
How it is affecting and how they condoning that. We can't condone it.
Oh, it does hype them up.
And like I say, it's an attack. It was an attack on the community, which the community ain't had nothing to do with it. What you guys did, y'all didn't attack his community.
No.
Let me
I
ask
ain't
this
saying nothing
question.
derogatory towards his community and his people and his school. Put down any other child in that school or any people in that
What we did in the way, man, like I said, it was some stuff said by our students to a young man, a player who recently lost his mother. It was some stuff said about his mom, about him carrying his mother on the field, and they made some comments about that. So it was a two rights don't make a wrong. So for us to degrade him, because he played little league football with Central Falcons, so we know him, we know how he is, and it's just kind of like, you effed up now. Don't get me wrong, but you say it on the field.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So
you
this,
do it on the field.
This is my question, Carmelo. The kid that took the parent on the field, was he African American or white?
He was black.
Okay. So in other words, on Instagram, they attacked another African American player from Northridge.
Yeah.
On Instagram. That's what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So let me ask you this. If the kid from Northridge was an African American kid saying those same words, how would y'all feel? I'm talking about the panel now. And Carmelo, you can answer. How to Carmelo, it probably wouldn't be an issue because black on black. But if it was black kids that this video went viral on, what would y'all say at that moment?
Are you saying that if it was a young black guy up there, football player, saying the exact same thing that these young men said, and he was referencing it to Central?
Exact same words referencing to Central.
I would still think of it as the same way the culture of today has gotten into the youth of our youth community. Because we all know when we were growing up, there were certain ones that looked like us that thought they were too good to be on certain sides of town. Back in the day, certain places used to be the bomb.com. If you didn't live in places like that, you was looked down on. You was did this. So I still think it's the same way because you know what? We got that brown bag syndrome. We got those racial issues within as well. We the community that got that the most. Mm-hmm. We ain't the only community that got it, but we do have that racism, that colorism. We got that colorism issue as well.
Yeah. We it's in by saying that
economics, social economics. Somebody in Branscombe compared to somebody in Southern Place. You gonna try to look down on the folks in the project. You know, like a lot of people who live in the project don't call it the project. I ain't got no problem with it. It's a project. To me, I don't care. I respect somebody in the project just as well as anybody else because they're trying to work their way up. But what I'm saying, if it had been African American, I would have still thought something has made them feel like they're above themselves and above their own people.
So the African. Hold on, Kai. Go ahead. So the African American that might have lived north of the river went to Northridge, and he say the same identical words. He has a different outlook of the community because he don't live in that community. You see what I'm saying? Do that make sense? So
that makes sense. I mean, it makes sense for the young man that did say it. He does have a different outlook.
You want to know something, Darryl?
Go ahead.
But we have to teach.
It's almost like this. Black folks, we use the N word.
I don't like it, but I don't.
I don't like it. I don't like it either. But I'm saying as a whole. Not saying individual, you know, I'm not tackling by individual. As a whole, black folk, we use the N word, but we use the N word jokingly. Sometimes we use it just in conversation.
Great.
You know what I'm saying, speech. Mm-hmm. But it's not a word that white folks can use.
Why is that? You know, why is that?
Because one, we took the word and flipped it. We flipped the word, and we use the word in jovial ways. You know, so they use the word in degrading ways.
Okay, it went from NEGRO to NINER, and then you got the NIGGA.
Right.
So it's okay for the African Americans to use the A ending, but the whites can't use the ER ending.
Whites can't use none of it.
Okay. I don't think anybody should use it. That's one of those things. That's one of those things I am black and white on. Because if you allow us to do it to yourselves, you know, I understand that what Jesse is coming from with it, because that's what a lot of people. To me, I feel like that's just a lot of people's self-justification because it's been used so long. But what I feel like it's another teachable moment. Doesn't matter how long it's been done so long. Two wrongs don't make a right, right? Mello, Mike. Okay, right. Two wrongs don't make it right. And to me, that's two wrongs. And it just because I flipped it don't make it right. That's just like the word God forgive me, excuse me, I'm a nurse. Retarded. The word retarded, if you can get rid of the word basically retarded, how many people y'all can say retarded now? Usually it's mental issues or some mental health, or they may even try to say the name of the mental issue. But you don't really hear that word retarded because society, the government put a stigma on it that once it was accepted, now it's no longer. Black people will exist. Another one of the things where it's within our own community, accepting something because young people are accepting it. To me, it's not right. You can't flip it around. It came from to me what it came to me.
Yeah.
And it's a degradation on my people.
Yeah, growing up in McKinsey Court. Growing up in McKinsey Court, there were people who lived in McKinsey Court and they were able to make it out and move into the Glen, Lincoln Park, down in Green Valley, fine houses all over the city.
Whitfield, Sutton
But
Place.
when we went, Whitfield and stuff, all these places.
It was so fun about
when we would go to those neighborhoods, and one of the main places I used to go was the Glen, because I had an uncle live down there, and I knew other kids who lived down there. But when I went to see those kids, those same parents that had moved, these were black people that moved from McKinsey Court, they didn't want me on their doorstep.
It's sad. It happens within.
Me dating one of their daughters. I have had many doors slammed in my face soon as I told them I'm from McKinsey Court.
And
they didn't want to hear nothing else I had to say. And that was prejudice. That was racism. Black on black racism. We do it every day.
Yeah, what's so funny about that N word?
Somebody black with a restaurant, we put our mouths on it.
Before they even open sometimes.
I ain't going back over there putting no money in his pocket.
What's so funny?
We perform racism on one another.
Yeah, within.
But
so what's so funny about the N word is that we've been hearing it is so wrong for so long now. People say, well, okay, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say ninja. I'm gonna say they try to find any way to make it right. They try to find any way to make it right.
Let me put it in perspective. You can go to Walmart right now. You can go there and buy some supplies for your child. Pick up a box of crayons, Crayola crayons. They have changed the color, the name black on the black crayon to Negro. So that's perpetuating. Every young white child in any other race other than black. Yes. They have changed the name from black.
And they also changed the white crayon to Blanco.
That's the only color in the crayon box. It's not Caucasian.
Hold on.
It's not pink.
It's not Negro. It's Negro.
Negro
is black.
They know
that. No. I'm not gonna let you do that. No, I'm not gonna let you do that. And
it's spelled the same way. It means the same thing.
No, it means black. No, it means black.
It's the same thing.
It's not Negro. No,
it's
black. Black is Spanish.
It's Negro.
It's Negro.
Spanish is Negro.
Negro.
It's the same
thing.
Negro
is black.
It's
like Negro is white.
But exactly.
Don't try to make that a racial.
Do any of us look that color?
No.
Does any of us look that color?
Report.
Does any of us look that color? Does any of us look that color?
What I'm saying is
any white man walk around the face of earth look like a white crayon? No.
Blanco is white.
Does any black person on the face of this earth look like a black crayon? No.
What I'm saying though is
the color is black. Black is a color.
It's a color. Let's put it like this. Hold on for a minute, fellas.
But it don't describe you.
Black and white are not colors. First of all, they're shades. Let's get that correct. They're shades. So let's get that correct. Colors are red, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, and violet. Those are the colors.
Purple. Don't forget purple.
Well, violet goes
with purple.
That's indigo. Indigo is got the purple stuff all in it. But anyway, those are the colors. Black and white are shades. Let's keep it one. And Blanco is white. It's in Spanish. In Spanish, Blanco means white. Negro means black in Spanish. So they do it for the Mexican and the Hispanics that shop there. Okay? That's what that is. So
Please don't say Negro. It's not Negro.
Well,
Anglo. I know the Negro. I don't
No.
know. No. You said it
Anyway,
wrong. Don't say it. But anyway, addressing what Mike was saying, yes, I did say he deserved what he did. Just like if they had been in a black child, they deserve what they got. If you do the crime, if you get caught, then that's what you get. That's the point.
As long as it's the same across the board. That's like he Mike remember reference the lady we were talking about that was stolen. As long as it's the same punishment across the board. So that's why I do come in saying as long as it's fair.
I never said one time, and what I replied to, I never said one time throw them away. I never said that out of my mouth.
Nobody, I know I didn't say that. I don't remember hearing anybody saying that. I remember Mike asking the question, posing the question that way.
We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on.
Mike said they changed it to.
We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. We move on. Y'all triple team, my man, all night long.
Hey, I'm fine with it, cause you see, I start talking. Hey, Mike. Every time I try to make a point, but you know, I get to a team. So
hey, Mike. Well, you asked me to respond, so I responded. You said,
no. Hey, Mike. I actually had to ask you a question.
That's all we did.
Listen, last few minutes.
Hold on now. Hey, Mike. Hey, Mike. I love you, my brother. I want you to know that. I just want you to know.
Oh, we all love Mike, but what the young man did was part of the passionate discussion, and it's a discussion that needs to be had amongst our people first. And most of the times, it has to be had among us first, because a lot of us don't be on the same page. And a lot of us won't be on the same page. But what we can do is agree to disagree, but still present ourselves as a united front.
There you go.
That's right.
I agree with that.
And I agree with you, but then and I guess Melo kind of helped me out a little bit. But what I was trying to say was I had a little bit more information because I had people that was closer to the situation than y'all did. That's why it kind of annoyed me in the aspect of saying that, I let somebody change my mind. But no, I had more of the facts than y'all had.
But I mean, facts or not, even with those facts that Melo said, what the young man did to me was wrong, period. It still needs to be a discussion had.
I always said that. I never said that he did not do wrong. I never said that he shouldn't have been punished for it.
We didn't try. We weren't trying to.
Not just go and throw this young man away. That was the beginning part of what I was saying. And no, they did not actually say the words verbatim. Let's throw him away. But the way they was coming at the young man, it was sounding like let's throw him in the dungeon and throw away the key on this young man. And I was like, let's not do that. That's what I kept trying to say the whole entire conversation.
But that's what we were addressing when you said that. No, when you said that, we were addressing. We weren't really. I never said what his punishment should be until later on. But the way you asked was what you was kind of saying.
I'm talking about. I'm talking about Reverend Porter and Jesse when they.
Okay. Because I was about to say because when you said that, I'm like when you said that when I heard those words, I'm like. Whoa, don't throw away the key on him because he's young. And even though I think he's old enough to know better, it's still something he needs to be taught about. Because we're never too old to learn.
We gonna continue to learn if we're lucky for the rest of our life. Each and every one of us. Black, white, Hispanic. Oh yeah.
But the only thing I was saying, like what you said, you had a little bit more facts on it. But even when you told those facts, see, even if I didn't know those facts, I feel like what I said still stands. Do not allow, as an elder, we should listen to what the kids saying, even though you know the facts, but do not allow kids to let everything be a past or it's just our generation. Because some things just generational, they'll never change. And racism is one of them. Being degrading is one of them. Our race being the most forgiving on this planet is one of them.
Yeah.
So regardless of what the facts was, that was my thing.
I'm trying to give the young man a pass when I'm saying like, I basically was saying the same thing you was. Let's teach him better, but let's not just give up on him. See, I'm real big. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. I don't believe that we're supposed to give up on these young people because I think too many folks are giving up on them as it is.
Well, see, if it had been as far as that point of view, I wouldn't have. I mean, I just don't see myself ever saying that about anybody, period, young or old. So I don't even think I was really addressing that. I was just curious to know, regardless to those facts that you and Noel gave us, I still feel the same way when I say, when you see, I don't know who all you talk to. So that's why I said, did you talk to young people? So you could have talked to old people, young people, black people, white people. But when you say young people, that's my thing with me. We don't allow young people to think that everything is okay because times are changing. Times are changing, not changing. Right. So that was my only thing about addressing the young people issue, because I see too many times, like all of us work with young people. I'm in mental health. Who do you think is we all work with young people. Right. Some of us daily. And so what I see is even with some of those who are mentally challenged, they're letting this cancel culture thing get in their heads. And when these incidences like this come up, like whatever all those other facts that happen, they need to be dealt with. They need to be addressed. And if somebody feel like they want to address it correctly, they should bring it to the public. But this young man was brought to the public. So that's all we could address. But that's why my stance stood is like, don't allow our young people. It's just like violence. So many people have become so desensitized to violence, they don't want to fight no more. So that's my thing. We can't allow the young people to allow us to feel like, okay, we just get everything is just times are changing. That's the only reason I asked that. That's why I was specific with my question. Well, but all the other stuff, if the other stuff didn't relate, then it didn't apply.
But you know, young people, and I did talk to young people. I talked to older people. I talked to people my age. So, I talk to a lot of different people all the time.
I know, but like I said, I just asked you about the young people, so that's where my argument came with. But like I said, I don't know who else you talk to. I was just curious enough to know if you talk to younger people, because what you were saying, when the young people I work with, young people I know and deal with, it correlates with the more of be easy on them kind of thing. Hey, society already been easy on them. So that's why I pinpoint what I wanted to address about what you were talking about.
Exactly, that said be easy on.
I didn't say you said. See, there you go again. I didn't say you. I didn't say you. Society says be easy on them. See, Mike takes stuff and he like apply it to himself. Sometimes it's general. Sometimes it's general. But when I say that, that's why I want to know who you talk to. And when you say it, I talk to young people. I'm like, okay, that's where we need to step in. Because no matter who else you talk to, it was probably some older people agree with those young people. It's just like some older people think they're supposed to be partying like young people. So I can't really address them. I'm just trying to get to the youth of it, because it was a youth that did it. And I know you work with youth. So that's why I asked you that specific question. In regards to whoever else you talk to, regards to all of those other facts, what I'm saying is that the youth are the future. Children are the future. Youth are the future. We can't allow the desensitization of our people. And when Kai said it was black people out there, I'm like, you're right, Kai. And they should have had more of a reaction than they did. Mello came about it that there was a bigger reaction. But right there at that very moment, there wasn't.
Right.
Yeah, they were set up.
Just because what we're saying is something led up to that particular time.
You didn't tell us that then. And like I said, regardless to that fact, he still was wrong. And what y'all said, two wrongs don't make a right.
Everything that I get told by you don't understand how many things I get told by the young people all the time that I don't just come and put out there, because I ain't trying to get them caught up in a lot of stuff pertaining to teachers, pertaining to all kind of stuff.
But we get that. But we just talking about this situation right here.
Information that I get.
Okay, but we just talking about this particular situation. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, all those facts don't matter as far as the panel's having this conversation on what he did that day behind that truck. Because if they old enough to go back and forth like that, then how long can we keep saying he young? They some of them down in the penitentiary 16.
That's true. And I've actually experienced that on the UA with older African Americans, where they took the side of an older white gentleman who called all of us slaves.
Mm-hmm.
And I was upset because the question was asked to him, who did you bring? He said, oh, I brought all my slaves. And everybody he brought was African American. And I'm the only one who heard it. He was speaking to another white man. And I got upset about it. And I was like, I ain't having that. If we're going to be men and work like men and do this job and complete this job, You ain't finna refer to me or anybody else I know as a slave.
Yeah, my thing is just teachable moments. I got a friend that I work with, and this was in the 90s. He had a flat tire up there in Brent. Well, white guy came to help him. He got in the truck, took him to his house, well, helped him pick tires. He sold tires. And when he got in the truck, that white guy said, watch your so-and-so. Get back. Then so my friend standing there like, whoa. So he's like, oh, he all right, you with me. He don't like niggas. Facebook, I'm sorry, that's what he said. Wow. And he felt comfortable to say that. And he didn't say guff, like trying to be hanging with the clique. He said Nigger. But he was comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't old. He wasn't old.
That young man was very comfortable. Well, he said that.
Yeah. That's my thing. Don't allow the comfort zone to be like that. Like we shouldn't allow ourselves to have certain comfort zones.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we still should at least make it where it's not easily taken in by us, you know.
Right. Like, and like, had we learned the facts later, like after this phone call, and Mello never came to say anything, had I learned the facts later, I would have said, what the hell going on? So nobody called nobody said anything about that, nobody wanted to file no charge, because see, this was freedom of speech right here, so no charge can be filed. He can be. People have gone to court and sued for their freedom of speech and won in these schools. Right. So that was freedom of speech. But morally, if you have a moral compass in your board of education and your principles and all that, something will be done about it. So my thing was, that was freedom of speech, but
where were you at?
Yeah. And then had I learned some things that happened, like, so all that happened. Guess what? I still wasn't gonna say, well, he was justified.
Yeah, freedom of speech.
I still wasn't gonna say he was justified.
Proud that you are, and your conduct isn't becoming of a student, then the school board can hold you accordingly, which is what it did him. But the fact is, you know,
they ain't even having a private discussion. We never knew. We never would have known. Just like a tree falls in the forest, we ain't there. Do we hear it?
When you
they made a sound.
Yeah, when you representing anything, any organization, let it be a school, let it be the government, let it be your job, you don't have to be at work. If you have their uniform on, or even if you don't, there's a conduct that you have to carry yourself, that your job even looks for you, it expects out of you. If you don't carry yourself that way, they can hold you accountable and fire you, which we see that all the time. You know, these fools, these Karens, these Karens out here acting out, their employees find out about them online and fire them, you know.
Right. And see, and Mello knows him. So I will say this. With him, I don't know him, and we know people our lives. I know people I graduated from Spiritual with, come to find out they were racist. You know? So we were some of those first ones that went to integrated schools. So they was how you never know a person's heart. You never know what goes on in a person's life that may change them, make them feel that way. Somebody might have got that promotion over them. Ever since then, they can't stand nobody who's brown. But what I'm saying is that you can say racist things without being racist. That's why I always say it's a teachable moment.
Yeah. Sure enough.
I agree.
I agree with you. You know, hey, my favorite song is Cooling Waters.
Cooling Waters. Cooling Waters. Lee Williams.
Yeah, that was his favorite song. Yeah.
Because the water got hot. The water got hot on the panel, but I'm telling y'all, that's why I like this show. Nobody has to feel like, you may feel gang up on, but at the end of the day, I don't think nobody's gonna leave here with a attitude of that so-and-so, he makes me, you might say, God damn, you don't let me talk. But we're gonna always know, I want somebody that I can come to that's gonna give me different perspectives. Sometimes you're gonna have the majority over a minority.
That's true. That's true.
We're gonna learn from each other. We always gonna do that.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it's all about. And this is how we teach our young folks how to communicate. You know, you communicate with people that you don't agree with, and you communicate it till you come to an agreement, or you respect each other's opinion and position on whatever the subject or topic is. You know, that's just being civilized. That's what it's
right. And then it's going to be a majority, it's going to be a minority. It doesn't always mean that the majority is right. That's true. Sometimes the minority is right.
Absolutely. I just say this. I don't argue against right. That's not what I do. When you I'm not going to stand and argue against you, and you're right. That's a fool. I'm not going to be a fool in that situation. So
And I'm not gonna argue, but for so long, unless it's somebody I care about, it's something I'm passionate about. Because like I said, we get away from what our parents and grandparents stuff taught us. You argue so long, who's starting to be the fool?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Because you know what's right. I think most people know what's right.
Yeah, most people do. And you know,
I've known a lot of what was right, still when did wrong.
You get a certain age, 99.9% of the time, you know what's right and wrong. When you're at a certain age, like you said, I know 4 or 5 year old, 3, 4, even a 5-year-old knows right and wrong. But you know, we give them the
we have discernment that they don't have.
Right.
So we have experience that they don't have.
But when I feel like this, when a child gets about 13, 14, oh no, we got to start holding them extremely accountable, because if you don't, then they become privileged with their wrongs. They'll think their wrongs are okay because they're not getting checked. And that's what a lot of I'm just saying that a lot of white kids that are privileged, that's where their privilege come from, because they weren't getting checked properly. And that's when, like Veronica was saying, you got these oath keepers and skinhead organizations. They watching these kids that are exhibiting that sort of behavior, and they prey on it, and then they recruit them. And you got a lot of people on police force that were kids like him at one point that didn't get checked, and they just go through life getting worse and worse, and becoming who they want to be. And guess what? They start pulling our kids over on traffic stops, And these are the things that it's a trickle down effect when it comes to bad behavior. There's a trickle down effect, and it doesn't get better; it gets worse, because that child now becomes an adult with very bad habits, and very bad judgments and very bad beliefs. And we're the ones, and our kids are the ones that suffer from it. That's why I don't sympathize from any of the punishment that he got. I've made that clear. Now whatever he got, he should have got, because I know kids back years and years ago were getting it, and they should have been lenient on it, but they weren't, because they were black. So
hey
that's
guys,
my truth.
It's I guess to get going. Interesting conversation. We can take a part 2 on Thursday. And Donald,
come on. Make sure you're playing Cooler Waters when you start the show, down.
I will. We will bring it up. We'll talk.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, Kai.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Happy birthday.
Kai Porter birthday. That's right.
Yeah. Today is birthday today. Yeah.
Well, congratulations and happy birthday and many more.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all.
Amen.
Well, y'all, I'm gonna end it tonight. Carmelo.
I think he gone.
Okay, I think he. Mike, let him tell Carmelo he can go ahead and take us out for the night. We're gonna come back on Thursday. I guess there's a survey I guess we need to do about how many African Americans agree or disagree with the terminology of using the N word toward one another. I'm just curious, how many African Americans in agreement or disagreement of using the N word towards one another? You in, what's up, man? You know how we do it or how they do it. I'm just curious. That might be something to bring up. But Veronica, you brought out some very interesting points. I've been saying a long time. We are the most forgiving people.
We are. We definitely are.
So a lot of times I just sit back and listen, because a lot of times I hear a lot of people, y'all thinking about or saying the same things I've said or say at times about certain instances. Like, hey, we got.
Let me say this, y'all.
Go ahead, and we're gonna shut it down if I can get Camilo. Go ahead.
This kind of extends on what Veronica how she feels, because I feel the same way in this matter. When we so forgiving, and I always said, as much as I love and respect what Dr. Martin Luther King did for us, I'm more Malcolm X's, philosophy. You know, I'm just there. Now, when it comes to us having, segregated and desegregations and all that, yes, I'm for segregation, but by choice. I don't want it to be where you can make us not be able to take advantage of things in society in our country, because of my color. But one thing about it, if we were more segregated within our own communities and we were striving with our own businesses and all and everything, we would be a lot closer and a lot further along. That's just my opinion. I mean, that's something to think about.
It is. I agree with that too.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Carmelo,
And y'all, when I say don't be so forgiving, I don't mean don't be forgiving, because I'm a very forgiving person, and that is a lie I need to be forgiven for. I'm asking David. But don't be so quickly to forgive what should be addressed.
Right.
Yeah.
But we are. We just come on, everybody, come on.
For us to be tolerant and accepting and forgiving even more, we're more so belong.
And less so of each other though. But less so of each other. And that's the funny part.
Yeah. Anything outside, they want us to be accepting and forgiving and tolerant.
And I'm gonna bring this
not
up.
Tolerant of one another, not accepting of one another, and not forgiving of one another.
And I'm gonna bring this up on Thursday. You did bring up some very interesting points about what Representative Chris England brought up about the amount of African American people that were pardoned and paroled, according to this last pardon and parole board that we have on hand. And those numbers are very, very tricky.
Right.
They are very tricky. I don't know if y'all seen them. I think Chris still got it on his page. Chris England, if y'all go to his page and look at those numbers, and Veronica, and there's not one uproar about that.
Well, what about the folks who got about to be arrested or indicted behind the PPP loan stuff, man? Anybody seen that?
Yep.
I hadn't seen it yet.
Because it's public knowledge you got it. And guess what? It's people busting on each other left and right.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to read that one. I'm gonna have to read that one. I hadn't seen that one. But we'll talk about this more on Thursday. Seriously, I think that is worthwhile talking about, that there's no uproar about the amount of approved pardon and parole pardons from the pardon and parole board. I mean, that's something that there should be an uproar.
And in the midst of our conversation, I just asked myself, I said, okay, had that young man done something and one of those African Americans that were recording him done the exact same thing, going up for pardon and parole, who would have been likely to get it, who would have not? So that's when that fair stuff started getting at me. And it's like, things I see throughout, most recently, I start to correlate it with each other. But as a person, as a human, and like I said, we forgiven, I feel like there should have been a punishment, but let them make it fair. So if something happens like this again, we'll have a standard that's been set, recent standard that's been set, and make it fair. Because it shouldn't happen 2 months or whenever it happens again. If it's on behalf of a black person and it gets out there, regardless of what the facts are, we see what we see, and then he gets way more punishment or way less. Set your standard and let it be what it be. And so when we was talking about that, it made me talk about what he posted. I'm like, look at these numbers. Had this young man and one of those other African American men recording him been up for parole or probation, who would have gotten it?
That's true.
Are things fair?
Yeah, sure. Take us away, Carmelo. Y'all have a great night. We'll see y'all on Thursday. Appreciate everybody's comments, and we looking forward to Thursday conversation part 2.
Amen.
All right.
All right. Good night.
Y'all have a good night. All right.
I just can't